It's a way to really get in contact again with your body and most of the times with your stuck emotions.
Yeah.
And to like free it up.
Cool.
And it's also a neurological process that I see very much as an animal in a sense. So it's like bypassing the importance of the mind we give and going back a bit to the importance of our body showing us also what we need and being in touch with ourselves more.
Tell me a bit more about that, because when you teach, you describe really well about how some of the struggles of coming into your body and letting go of the control of your mind. What are the sort of key things for you around that?
Well, I always come with this example really of how the mind I learned from meditation and from other techniques has a struggle to either feel the body and to be present inside you and worrying. So the more you actually manage to exercise the feeling and the being present in the body, also the thought process slows down a lot. And you can actually even experimentally measure it by slowing down of how many thoughts per minute you may have or per second. So in a sense it leaves like a kind of quietness and calmness in the mind the more you exercise being present in physical sensation.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of TRE. For me, is it's like pure body, just the shaking, it's this really deep instinctual response. And the thoughts is very secondary. Sometimes it's really important to acknowledge them, but when you see a body shaking, when people really feel that involuntary movement, it really takes us away from our cognitive processes. We just are an organism responding.
Absolutely. So it's really a way, it's a good form of meditation and movement.
Yes. For me, it's replaced my meditation practice.
For me too. Over the years, if I have to choose between, well, it can also be a preparation really to get you then in a much more quiet spot by getting more whole with the body and then finding yourself maybe still after the tremors have, in a sense, finished, and then find yourself in a spot where the mind, you don't need to repeat mantras or focus on your breath so much anymore because you're already there.
Yeah. I know you've worked with a lot of people, Italian Olympic athletes not least. What sort of things have you noticed change in people, or what do they commonly report of the TRE?
Well, it can range from wow, I have a body to just how things like symptoms like nervous things like biting your fingernails to picking on your fingers or approaching differently, feeling more secure, and so seeing differently how they approach even just family life, just being in the family and being themselves in a family setting, or just getting over stress. Could be really just physical stress with many people, especially athletes, so just helping the body recover faster from physical exercise or even injuries.
Yeah. One of the things I really like around David is David Basella's teaching is that he works with everybody in the same way almost. It's like just get them tremoring. So for most conditions, certainly a lot of mental emotion things, the thing is it's fear, and fear has a particular pattern in the body. So I asked him a question once, how would you deal with someone who had fear of heights? He said, well, the interesting thing is they have fear, and human beings, when they're in fear, they do this common pattern. So it's whatever really, for a lot of us really, our edge is, am I safe or not? And we contract around that, we fragment, we lose relationship to our body. And the tremors are a good way of helping us come out of that. And this idea that fear or this contraction pattern is at the root of most of our behaviours and most of our diseases, really. So I would even say for back pain, for most people, I'm a chiropractor, I've spent 5 years studying the spine, but these days for me, meeting the contraction coming from overwhelm is the first thing that we need to clear. And tremors are an amazing way of resetting that. So not just pain, but phobias and fears and anxiety and depression all have that root thing of this sort of loss of relationship in this contraction that comes with overload. Is that fair, do you think?
Absolutely. And I'm the best example of this from a point of view of like back pain and being very enthusiastic about TRE, especially of how it helped me overcome my back pain from just one session. Things I had tried in many other ways to overcome through other therapies, actually, at least in that instance, the TRE was really effective in just freeing it in one go.
Yes, what strikes me is the simplicity and how to deactivate, if you like, or put it to one side is the neocortex, the thinking side, affecting it, because it tends to override, and people are in that override situation a lot, which I think brings in a lot of problems. So, is there any technique or something that can help bring people into more awareness in their body?
Yeah, TRE.
Yes.
So the technique to go out of the neocortex is, this is the genius of David, really. David Maselli, is the idea that the tremoring takes us into the body. It's this deeply instinctual response that allows us to release these chronic contractions and then resets the brainstem, resets the limbic system, and that allows the neocortex to work much more effectively. We can go from having just one escape route, being very fixed and limited in our beliefs, to having an openness in our body, and that feeds into a more expansive consciousness, if you like, an ability to take in more information, see more things, think more slowly, and respond more appropriately. And techniques within TRE, things that might help that along. It's really the encouragement just to keep people in their bodies, isn't it? Keep staying in the body.
Yeah. And even using your own hands to gain more physical sensation, like in a circuit. This is ultimately how we approach the physical world, is by touching a lot. So actually, I think using your own hands rather than keeping them at the side and to keep them over your chest or over the areas that are already tremoring, I realize that helps the process even get deeper.
Good. So someone who's got a painful shoulder or they're feeling contracted in the shoulder, one way is to ask them just to hold their shoulder rather than think about it too much, to bring an extra touch to it. One of your question brings up for me is that we don't need to be traumatized to get benefit from shaking. It's really important. We accumulate tensions throughout our life. TRE, this tremoring, involuntary tremoring process, is a really good way of allowing the tensions to be at an optimum place. And it is surprising when you really trust your body. It does feel, I can see why some cultures have this idea of demons inhabiting our body. There is a real strangeness in learning to trust this involuntary movement. And it's quite scary sometimes, and also very joyful. And the other thing it brings up for me is it's quite rare to meet someone who, who doesn't have some sense of some tensions or stories that they're carrying around with them, really. So that this description you had of someone who's almost perfectly okay and they have this novel experience and it doesn't touch them, that hasn't happened for me yet.
Can cut down the number of massages you want to go get. It gives you, in a sense, a deep sensation of presence in the body, and as if really someone had massaged you.
Hey Riccardo, thank you very much. Really nice to work with you. You'll be coming back to London hopefully in November.
Of course.
Yeah.